Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another live Manchester United news and transfer news show. We're going to be discussing CODY, Gakpo and Antony to Manchester United as people like Fabrizio Romano and reliable journalists say they expect either Antony or Gakpo to be completed. They don't know if United will sign both, but they believe it'll be one of those two players. We also know from Roy Whitwell that United have ended their interest in Morata along other players, and it seems like the end of the transfer window could be Kevin Trapp, either CODY, Gakpo and Antony, one of the other or both, potentially a midfielder, potentially a right back. But there's some news that's positive about De Jong and there's some news that's not positive about De Jong. But at the end of the day, the news about De Jong that is not positive is the ones coming from the better journalists. The Spanish journalists are still pretty convinced that De Jong to Manchester United is on and all of that. But are the Spanish journalists saying it's a PR spin? We obviously know the Spanish journalists want to generate clicks. They'll do anything to generate clicks. Are they lying to us? Is it a Glazer's PR spin? I think now when you've got Laurie Whitwell coming out saying De Jong is off, I fully believe Laurie Whitwell in the fact that Frankie De Jong to Manchester United, unfortunately, is off, which we will discuss in a second. But I want to dive into the Antony news and I want to dive into the Gakpo news and all of that. But obviously, as you can see on the screen, Manchester United preparing a new bid for Antony and his representatives are in London looking to complete the move. So the big news here is complete. It's the fact that the deal is set to be complete. You've got Laurie Whitwell and Fabrizio Romano saying United are aiming to complete the Antony move. You've got all the reliable journalists saying United are aiming to complete the Antony move, and maybe the Gakpo news. We put in a bid for Gakpo. There's lots of positivity regarding Antony and Gakpo, and I am going to get into that in just a second. But make sure you smash that like button. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. Share the video, and of course, green and gold until the club is sold. Man United should buy Ruben Neves and look, I'd have liked Ruben Neves. You know who I would have quite liked? Nunes, who's just gone to Wolves as well. We missed out on Ronaldinho. We can't lose Antony. Please get it done. Is Antony the next Ronaldinho? I'm not sure, but 94 million euros it will be. 80 million pounds. 94 million euros. Apparently the 94 bid is in. Is this some breaking news coming out? Fabrizio Romano has just tweeted now, Antony deal, new bid not submitted yet, but United have not changed their plans since yesterday. New proposal will be made and Antony's agents are waiting for the long-term deal to be agreed. Ajax are insisting on a huge price tag, trying to keep the Brazilian star. And one of the reasons Ajax are insisting on a huge price tag is because obviously Sao Paulo are going to get a fair bit of money for this as well. Someone said Alice Talks out of date info. Well, this has come in the last hour, mate. So I wouldn't say it's out of date as well. I'm just saying the news is from very reliable sources that Manchester United aim to complete Antony and that United will complete either Antony or Gakpo in the coming days. That is the news. And we've also got the Jong situation. We've also got the goalkeeper situation, which we will dive into. There is news about Pulisic. The Morata deal is off. Nick said United no longer want Morata because Atletico are mugging us off. Atletico know that we've got money. I want to say this, though. Anthony Gordon, 60 million. Isaac to Newcastle, 80 million. Darwin Núñez was about 80 million. So for Antony, for about 94 million, considering the other players in the market, it doesn't seem that bad. Are we overpaying? Yes. I think I wouldn't pay more than £50 million for Antony because I think we still need another midfielder to partner Casemiro because we're a Casemiro injury away from Fred. But what I will say about Antony to Manchester United is, it's not even that bad business when you look at the prices other players are going for. Núñez, Isaac, Gordon. I mean, Gibbs White went for 45 million. But do you know what really annoys me? Is how can the market be so high and we're getting Marseille will give us 5 million for Bailly if his loan goes well. 5 fucking million. Like, Bailly's worth more than that. And then we're getting stuff like James Garner 14 million, but Gibbs White is 42 million. Anthony Gordon. How can Everton be getting near 60 million for Anthony Gordon? And we couldn't get 60 million for any of our players. Dean Henderson, we couldn't get a buy for, and he's a bloody good keeper. It just shows you how poor United's run when the market is like this, and we can't get 10 million for Wan-Bissaka, or 10 million for Bailly, or 10 million for Tellez. We can't even get 10 million for Brandon Williams, who's at least Premier League experienced. But people are paying more for Championship right backs who are the same age. For me, it's staggering, but people know that United are awful at business and we give players such high wages that people know they can take advantage of us. If De Jong stays at Barca after the way they treat him, then let him rot there. They deserve each other. Yeah, you know what? If De Jong wants to stay at Barca after the way they've treated him, then De Jong is a mug. De Jong is an example of a guy whose girl will cheat on him about 20 times. She'll control him. She'll treat him like shit. She'll make him think it's all his fault. She'll, use him when she wants him, treat him like shit, but he'll stay with that girl because he loves her. And it's like, it doesn't matter if you love them. If they treat you like shit, know your worth and fucking move on, because you will move on one day. You just got to bite the bullet. But, it just gives me that kind of vibe. It's just like, get over it. But I do agree with that. I mean, he might go to Chelsea, but I think De Jong to United is off. And I will say this, and you know what? I'll show you my tweet. Let's click on my lovely profile. I tweeted something earlier today. It's got a few likes. People quite like the tweet. De Jong deal off, and reports that signing Antony will lower next summer's budget. One win and a Casemiro signing to try and distract us, but remember Jim Ratcliffe wants to buy the club. Isn't it funny that United wait until we sign Casemiro, until we got a win against Liverpool when the mood is good, to subtly use Laurie Whitwell to announce that the De Jong deal is off, completely off. So Erik ten Hag's number one priority signing, a player Erik ten Hag wanted more than anyone else, that we spent 3 months trying to sign. We gave up on him. We got Casemiro, and we waited till we got Casemiro and a win against Liverpool. The only reason we got Casemiro is because they fucked up De Jong. But they fucked up De Jong and they were willing to give us Rabiot. They fucked up De Jong, they're willing to give us Rabiot. Then Jim Ratcliffe comes out and says, I want to buy United. So we get Casemiro. We were going to sign Rabiot and no one else because we fucked up De Jong. They were going to do that to Ten Hag. And then because of a Glazer's out protest, because Jim Ratcliffe wanted to buy United and the pressure was on the club, they signed Casemiro. And then they wait until we beat Liverpool to kind of tell us that De Jong is off. Because that can be that positive PR spin. And they're telling you this now. They might be buying some players. They might be about to spend a bit of money on Antony, but do not let that distract you from the main thing. Antony comes out of next summer's budget. There was a report, I think it was by Paul Hurst, that signing Antony will make next summer's budget lower. That is our owners. They'll please us now the pressure's on as a buyer and people want them out. But next summer, if the pressure isn't on them, if we come third next summer and the pressure isn't on the Glazers, we'll probably spend about 30, 40 million pounds and chuck Ten Hag under the bus. I'm telling you this now. And next summer, we need a striker. Next summer, we'll need a right back if we don't sign one. Next summer, we might need a goalkeeper. Next summer, we might need another centre back if Maguire goes. And next summer, we still will need a midfielder. We'll still need 5 key areas next summer. But United go into every summer needing 5 key areas and only getting 2 or 3. And then every single window, we always need certain players that we don't get. And right now, cool, we've got a midfielder. Cool, we've got an attacker. Next summer, we need a striker. We need another midfielder. We'll need a right back. We'll probably need a goalkeeper. We'll probably need a centre back. And do I trust United to do that? No. So just remember this now. All the reports coming in that De Jong is off. Do you think if we hadn't signed Casemiro or we hadn't beat Liverpool, they would be reporting De Jong is off? No. And remember, just before the Glazer out protest heated up, before Brentford 4-0, and before someone said they could buy United and Jim Ratcliffe, they were going to get Rabiot instead of Casemiro. Adrian Rabiot. And that is the Glazers. And do not forget in the slightest what they do. Please do smash that like button and, of course, subscribe down below if you're new. People saying, let's buy Antony. Guys, what do you think? Let me know in the chat. What do you think about 94 million euros for Antony as well? Alice, any news of confirmed signings? Well, the Gakpo or Antony will be completed in the coming days. And that is it's not confirmed 100%, but the reliable journalist is saying that is the case as well. It is because of wages, Alice. Most of our players have played over 100k. Difficult for other teams to match wages. I agree. One of the reasons we can't sell players is because of wages as well. But yeah, please smash the like button. Do subscribe if you're new. The board must explain after the transfer window why we didn't get De Jong. We spent 3 months trying to get him when we could have got Antony for 50 million in June. Instead, we were trying to close the De Jong deal. You make a really, really good point here. Because Manchester United, the reason Man United didn't sign Antony for 50 million, 45 million pounds to be exact in June, is because they were focusing on De Jong. They fucked up De Jong and they go back into Antony for double the price. If only we'd got Antony. You know what? I'm telling you this now. The reason we got Antony in June is because United in June were not planning to spend much money. Man United in June thought they'll get De Jong and miss out on Antony and call it a day. I'm telling you this for a fact. Okay, we had a chance to sign Antony for 45 million in June. They thought, well, we'll get De Jong because he's going to be 60, 70 million and we'll say we won't have the funds for Antony. United have only gone back in for Antony once they realised they messed up De Jong. And United were never going to sign Antony and De Jong. That was never in the plan until Jim Ratcliffe wants to buy United, until the pressure's on the owners. And now all of a sudden they're spending twice the price to get Antony when they could have had him for half the price in June. But the reason they didn't get Antony in June is because they thought if we get Antony, you know, we're going to have to spend more funds on De Jong. And I think the Glazers' plan was Malacia, Martinez, and De Jong, because the Glazers, I think that was the Glazers' plans. De Jong would have been 68 million. De Jong would have been 70 million. Martinez was 50 million. That's 120 million. Malacia is 12 million. That's 120 million net spend. What the board wanted. Antony would have been another 50 million on that. So I think when we had a chance to sign Antony in June 50 million, I think we said no, because they were thinking about that 120 million net spend. That was a figure that was being quoted at the beginning of the summer. Now, the reason they've gone back in for Antony now when they're playing crazy money is because the pressure is on and Jim Ratcliffe has offered to buy the club. You know, the net spend would have been 120 million. It's now up to 200 million the net spend could potentially be because of the pressure on the board. And since Jim Ratcliffe's gone public, all of a sudden we're back in for Antony. All of a sudden we signed Casemiro. But we were happily, just a week ago, we're happily going to let Ten Hag live with Arnautovic and Rabiot instead and leave it at a very low net spend. And the worst part is you still have good journalists saying, well, this is next summer's spend will be a lot less because of the price of Antony. So they're already planning to spend less next summer. That is our end. They're already planning to spend less money next summer. So remember that as well. They're not looking to win and invest. They just need enough to keep sticking plasters in place and keep leeching the club. Exactly. And Man United didn't want to pay the deferred wages for Frankie de Jong. They could have said, we'll pay half the deferred wages, says Nick Nash. Yeah, they could have done that. And that's one of the reasons we didn't get de Jong done, is because we said we wouldn't pay the deferred wages. Which I don't blame United for it. It makes us look like mugs. But I think if Ten Hag wanted this is my situation. I'd have never paid the deferred wages for de Jong. But then when de Jong was dragging on for 3-4 months, going on pre-season tour, we hadn't got any other business done, and he was Erik ten Hag's #1 priority signing. I'd just given and be like, we fucked up this transfer window. Let's go and pay de Jong's deferred wages. I think that's what they should have done as well. Now for de Jong, Chase focus on backup goalkeeper and winger. I'm with you there now. I'm over de Jong. I think we'll still get linked to him up until deadline day. But I don't think it's going to happen. And, you know, I think because we signed Casemiro and beaten Liverpool, a lot of other people are not that bothered that we haven't got de Jong. And look, I'm not now we've got Casemiro, not Rabiot. I'm not as salty that we haven't signed de Jong. But I think the fact that we haven't signed de Jong is a disgrace. No matter if we get Casemiro, no matter if we beat Liverpool, because we spent so much time on him. It's the biggest, most embarrassing thing. And I think Murto and should be sacked. Murto and Arnold should be sacked. They were pictured in Barcelona trying to get de Jong, and they were pictured in Turin trying to get Rabiot. And at the end of the day, whether you like that they didn't get them or not, they should be sacked. Antony's better than the other wingers this time because he knows Ten Hag's system. But what Antony has that our other wingers don't have is Antony is left-footed, and Ten Hag's very much like he likes balance in defensive midfield with his left-footers and right-footers, but he likes an inverted winger, and Antony brings that kind of inverted thing as well. Sell Donny back to Ajax. Even Erik ten Hag is on the bench. I think Donny just needs a bit of time to get used to playing minutes and stuff. I think he will. Chelsea signed deal. They could potentially as well. Shall we get into the transfer news though? So it came out basically. I'm gonna get the news up about Antony on my screen. I'm gonna get into all the Antony reports, but Antony is set to be completed this week. Here it came out here. Antony wants to push for a move to Manchester United in the next few days, and his representatives are staying in England for the rest of the transfer window to try and help complete his dream transfer. It was also said that Antony is determined to switch to the Premier League in the next week and is waiting for Manchester United to agree a fee. His agents are understood to be basing themselves in London, where United have offices. So obviously everyone knows that United's offices are in Mayfair, in London, and reportedly basically Antony's reps and agents are all there doing everything to get this deal done. It's very obvious that Antony United are going all out for this deal. Antony refusing to train, Antony refusing to play, Antony leaving training early, Antony's just doing everything on his side to force the move. Antony's agents are doing everything they can to get the deal done. They're obviously in London. I mean, United are offering Ajax extortionate amounts of money. Ajax in a position where they just can't say no. And I think, United are hoping because Antony's forcing the move and they've offered a stupid amount of money already, that they will cave in and accept the 73.2 million pound offer. We've offered them 73 million pounds. I think Man United are hoping that Ajax will accept 73 million pounds, but Ajax want Man United to pay 87 million pounds, which is 15 million more than we've offered. We've offered Ajax 80 million euros. They want 100 million euros, but United are now going to offer 94 million euros. And reportedly, the bid for 94 million euros could go in tonight to get Antony done. So the whole situation is we've offered 80 million euros. We've offered 85 million euros, sorry. Ajax have said no. Ajax want 100 million euros. United now going to offer 94. But I think United were waiting on a few days because they thought, well, if Antony's not playing or training, maybe Ajax will be forced into accepting the 80 million euros we've offered, because that was the asking price they said for Antony a month ago. But then with Martinez, they set an asking price for Martinez and then they upped it by 10 million when United actually matched that asking price. And that seems to be what they're doing with Antony. But I think the way that Antony's agents are treating it, I think the fact that Antony is pushing for the move, I think United think that maybe Ajax can budge, but I think Ajax will be forced into accepting a deal for Antony to go to United. And I think unless Ajax don't budge and unless Ajax just want to wait it out and won't budge, we'll end up with CODY Gakpo. But I do believe we'll end up with Antony, and potentially if Ronaldo leaves, we'll end up with CODY Gakpo. And Ronaldo does want to leave, but there's not many buyers for Gakpo. But Laurie Whitwell said that Manchester United will weigh up further targets if they do sign Antony, and that actually the hope that United signing both Antony and Gakpo is reduced. It could be one or the others. I think if we sign Antony, that is nothing for Gakpo, which is unfortunate because I actually do quite like the sound of Gakpo. But obviously, as Laurie Whitwell said, Manchester United are preparing a new bid for Antony, and his representatives are in London looking to complete the move. You've got Laurie Whitwell and Fabrizio Romano saying, basically they're doing everything they can to complete the Antony move. So very positive indications that Antony will end up at United. There's very positive indications Gakpo will end up at United. I'm telling you this now with confidence from what I know, from what I've been told. If we don't sign Antony, we'll get Gakpo. We will end up with either Antony or Gakpo at Manchester United this summer. That's what I'll tell you. Either one of them will be at United this summer. And Sky Sports are reporting that Manchester United are going to raise their offer for Antony to around 94 million euros. And sources close to negotiations are hopeful that a 94 million euro offer, which is £80 million, could be agreed by Ajax this week. But the fact that United are going to raise their offer and to a price that they think Ajax will accept is big news as well. And there is reports that more than one forward could arrive at United this summer. Of course, Glazer's out. Not sure how I like how Antony is handling this United could deal this down a better line. I feel like I like that Antony's acting up to force the move, but then I don't like signing a player that has a rep of acting up as well. How do you think the team would line up with Antony? Antony would be the right winger. I think Sancho and Rashford would rotate as the left winger, and Martial and Ronaldo would rotate as the striker. Sancho would potentially play right wing every now and then. You've got Ahmad as options at right wing. You've got Garnacho. You've got Elanga. I think that would be the stuff. United getting rinsed for 94 million. I do agree with you. And hashtag Glazers out. Everybody get hashtag Glazers out in the chat if you're Glazers out. And buying Antony means more debt, and that increases pressure on the Glazers. Buying the guy. I mean, that's a positive way to look at it. I think Dortmund and Marseille are interested in Ronaldo, but I don't think they can afford them. And they could ask for 150 million and we'll finalise at 130 million and call it for business. You're absolutely spot on. I can't buy him for 60 million. I'd rather buy St. Maximin, says some people. I mean, I did say if Nkuku's release clause is 60 million and we're spending 80 million on Antony, I'd rather go for Nkuku. But obviously Nkuku's release clause doesn't activate till next year. I think Nkuku, apparently you can buy Nkuku now for 100 million, but they don't want to sell him. But his 60 million release clause activates next year. I would really like Nkuku at Manchester United, and that would be my ideal situation. As Daniel says, guys, please do smash that like button if you have not already. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. If you're new and you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more, please do subscribe. 1 week till the transfer window ends, by the way. 1 week and then the transfer window is over. And there's going to be at least 2 more deals happening, potentially some ins, potentially some outs. There's going to be lots happening in the next week. It's going to be wild. So make sure you're subscribed so you know as soon as we sign or sell someone. I'll update you the minute we get a done deal confirmed, the minute we sign someone, the minute we sell someone. If you want to stay up to date with the last week of the United transfer window, do subscribe because I will be keeping you up to date on that. And of course, share the video. By the way, guys, we're 41 subscribers away from 48k. 41 subscribers away from 48k. So again, it's free to subscribe. So please do. And of course, smash the like button. I do want to get into the CODY Gakpo news. I do want to get into some more news as well. But Fofana can go for 85 million. I mean, Antony Gordon can go for 60 million and Gibbs White 45 million. People can complain about Antony being valued at 90, 100 million. You make a good point. I mean, the market is crazy. The market is crazy. Romano says Frankie de Jong won't accept a pay cut when everyone else has. If he doesn't take it, they'll push him out whether United are there or not. They don't want to pay him 400k a week if he doesn't want to move. The thing about de Jong is he's rejecting United, Bayern and Chelsea. And he's been very stubborn this window. And I can't blame him. He's been treated like shit. But I do think you know, Barcelona will struggle to be able to afford to keep De Jong at the club, and I do think De Jong could potentially be pushed out in January. So, you know, I still think there's something in De Jong to United, but I feel like it's one of those that if we don't get him this summer, I don't think we'll ever get him, if I'm being 100% honest. We've got some news coming in just now from a good source that just in, Chelsea may launch an audacious swoop late for Manchester United captain Harry Maguire before next week's transfer deadline if they're unable to land Wesley Fofana. Harry Maguire to Chelsea, I don't think United will let it happen unless Chelsea give us mad money. If Chelsea come in and offer us over 50 million for Maguire, I think we have to say yes, though. If Chelsea seriously came in and went, "No, we'll give you 50 million for Maguire," I don't think we can say no. Apparently, we turned down 25 million for Scott McTominay. I would have taken that. For me, this is the thing. We can sell James Garner for 15 million or sell McTominay for 25 million. Okay, McTominay might be more experienced than James Garner, but McTominay's had 3 seasons, multiple chances, and he's not good enough for United, and he's nearly 26. But instead, you want to sell the player that was brilliant every time he's played against Premier League opposition, that is 21 years of age for 15 million, that's not been given a chance. But he might not be good enough for United, but at least it's someone new to give a chance. It's like, why are we not selling McTominay for 25 million to Newcastle or West Ham, but instead selling James Garner for 15 million? I think the logic of this club is crazy. I understand why United would keep Maguire because of the lack of depth at centre-back. But again, if Chelsea do offer us something big for Maguire, we're never going to get close to that. We're never going to get anywhere near the 80 million. I think we might as well accept. Keep smashing the like buttons. And, of course, hashtag Glazers out as well. Anthony is young and promising, of course. I do like Anthony. Does that mean Ronnie's off? I mean, the thing is, people say if Anthony comes in, does that mean Ronaldo's off? But Anthony's a right winger. He's a completely different profile to Ronaldo. Ronaldo and Martial are the only strikers at United. I know Rashford played there for a bit versus Liverpool, and that's because the aim was to hit Liverpool on the counter-attack. But we all know Rashford's a winger. Maguire for Pulisic and Havertz. You know what? I think Havertz is incredibly overrated as well. The fact that the Jong transfer has taken the entire transfer window and failed is a clear indication of the sheer incompetence of the Glazers. Really good message there. Hunt, you absolutely spot on. And Chelsea will go back in for Maguire as they're desperate for cover at centre-back. I think they will. Chelsea want Fofana, but Leicester are being incredibly difficult. I mean, Leicester are just being Leicester are being twats this transfer window, but nowhere near as bad as Barcelona. I think Havertz would suit Ten Hag's system. I want to get into Anthony's stats though. I want to do a review on Anthony for you guys. So let's have a look at the Brazilian footballer Antony. So let's look at Anthony's stats. Antony is, of course, 22 years of age, guys. He's from Sao Paulo, Brazil. He's obviously made some caps for Brazil. He's had 9 caps and 2 goals for Brazil. He's obviously played 3 games this season, 2 goals, 2 assists. So you cannot complain. Some good start to the season, some good stats. He is a left-footed right winger. The reason Ten Hag wants Antony is because he likes his wingers to be inverted. He likes balance at the back because he likes to play possession, play out from the back. So he wants a right-footed right back, a right-footed right centre-back, a left-footed left centre-back, and a left-footed left back. But he likes a left-footed left midfielder. He likes a right-footed right midfielder. But he likes a left-footed right winger and a right-footed left winger. It's like a tongue twister saying that. And obviously you can see Antony, 3 games, 2 goals, 2 assists. Not bad stats this season. He's got 46 goal contributions in 82 games for Ajax, considering his age, which isn't too bad. You see him for Brazil, 9 games, 2 goals. But if we actually look at Antony last season, and this was his statistics, they're not actually the best stats in the world for the Eredivisie, but again, he's a good player off the ball, and it's not all about stats. So he got 12 goal contributions in 23 games because he was injured. If you look at the detailed statistics of Antony, he was obviously subbed on for 2 of those games, so he started 21 games and got 12 goal contributions, which isn't too bad. He was subbed off in 13 of those games. In the Champions League, he managed to get 2 goals and 4 assists in 7 games. And when you look at Antony's stats in the Champions League, going back to that, he actually basically averages a goal contribution a game in the Champions League, proving he can do it at the highest level with his numbers in the Champions League. And one thing about Antony and one thing about bringing Antony in is that you have a player that you 100% know suits Ten Hag's system. When you sign Antony, you know you don't have to worry about the player flopping. Look, you have to worry about the Eredivisie to obviously the Premier League step. What I'm saying is he's playing in the same system under the same manager, just at a higher level. And if he thrived in the Champions League under Ten Hag, then he has every reason to thrive in the Premier League under Ten Hag. He is 22 years of age. He can only get better. There's definitely a good player in Antony. And I think you do have to sometimes forget the price tag. And if you look at his 2021 season, and by the way, he was only 20 years of age when he started the 2021 season. This was when he was 20 years of age. Again, 9 goals, 8 assists. That's 17 goal contributions in 32 games at 20 years of age. He can play as a left winger, but he is predominantly a right winger. And I think weirdly, I know we've got Sancho at right wing, but he seems to be better on the left wing. But this is the first time in a while where United have actually signed a right winger. And we've always needed a right winger as well. But I want to get back into the Gakpo news. I want to get back into the transfer news. But I do think Antony is a good signing for United. I want to get back and see if I can find the Gakpo story here. Ten Hag does want competition for De Gea, which is obviously the news coming out. But what I will say is with Antony, he can play in Ten Hag's system. He's an inverted winger. He can play on the right. He gives us depth. I think, the balance, and I want to say this, the balance and energy you have in attack when you've got options like Antony, Rashford, I was about to say Jong for some reason. You got Antony, Rashford, Martial, Sancho, Alanga, Garnacho, Amad Diallo, potentially even Gakpo coming in. I mean, the energy in attack is something that, really showed versus Liverpool. And one of the reasons we beat Liverpool was because the energy and pressing and attack. And you get that with Antony. You get a player that's proven he can play in the Champions League. You get a player that can play Ten Hag's system. You get a player that is young, wants to prove himself in a better league. You've got a player that's hungry to come to United, is coming for the right reasons, not the money, because he's desperate to come. But also, you've got a player that Ten Hag admires. And we know a lot about Ten Hag. We know a lot about Ten Hag and Ten Hag's mentality. We've been hearing all of this about Ten Hag's mentality and how he's really strict on players. Donny was warning players that, it's going to be tougher under Ten Hag, and Ten Hag is very big on player mentality. And I think for me, if Ten Hag works with a player and he wants them at Man United, Ten Hag knows that player. Ten Hag knows Lisandro Martinez. Ten Hag didn't think Lisandro Martinez is 5'9". Ten Hag knew about Lisandro Martinez. He knew what Lisandro Martinez's mentality was like and all of that. And he wanted to sign Lisandro Martinez. And look at Lisandro Martinez versus Liverpool. He was an absolute beast. Ten Hag knows that player. And with Antony, he's a player Ten Hag knows in and out. Ten Hag knows his mentality. So a lot of people saying he's pushing for the move, that's unprofessional and all of that. But Ten Hag knows Antony's mentality, and Ten Hag knows that Antony isn't unprofessional. And I think when Ajax are rejecting £80 million offers for you, you're thinking, how the fuck am I going to get this move? Like, you kind of have to act up. But I'm not worried about Antony mentally, because Ten Hag knows, look, Lisandro Martinez is crazy. He's a mental monster. Antony is who Ten Hag wants. Ten Hag's worked with these players for 3-4 years, and he wants them at United. He knows these players inside and out. He knows his system. He knows what we want to do. And although Gakpo was better value for money, I will say this, back your manager. And if Antony is who Ten Hag wants, if Antony is the only player Ten Hag wants in that position, I trust Ten Hag. Because I think Malacia has looked really impressive. I think Martinez has looked really impressive. We know about Ericsson. We know he's a good player. And I trust Ten Hag that Antony's going to be a really, really good player for United. And I think, at the end of the day, if Antony comes to United and he performs and he plays well, you forget that whole price tag anyway. And I do trust my manager that he knows the player. He knows he can do what he wants. And if he's who Ten Hag wants, then again, you just pay the money for him as well. Gakpo gives me Henry vibes. That's an interesting. I mean, if Gakpo will be as good as prime Henry, then I would love them at United. Any news on Depay? There is news coming out of Spain that United are preparing a €10 million offer for Memphis Depay. Maybe if Ronaldo goes, we'll do that. I don't believe it. I think that the Spanish media are using United's name to generate clicks yet again. Personally, I don't believe it, if I'm being honest as well. Chelsea fan here, you can sell Maguire to 80 million for us, please. Honestly, that would be crazy. Thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Always appreciate the support as well. Game comes so fast. Only played Liverpool 2 days ago. Now Southampton coming up in 2 days. You know what's mad? We generally have Southampton in 2 days. Saturday morning, Southampton, guys. Make sure you're subscribed for the watch-along for United versus Southampton. I will be doing a live watch-along and match reaction for United versus Southampton. And I do also want to throw out, guys, that I'm only 12 subscribers away from 48k. 12 from 48k is crazy. So if you are new and you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. It's absolutely free. It would mean the world. I'm really hoping to hit 50k. 12 away from 48k. I'll go live every single evening on the channel, keeping you guys up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more. I do watch-alongs, match reactions, match previews. I've got a video coming out tomorrow morning about inside the dressing room, how Ten Hag treats the players and all of that. I do short videos, I do live streams, I do watch-alongs, I do match reactions. So I'm trying to sell it to you because I'm 12 subscribers away from 48k. So you're more than welcome to subscribe. It'll be really, really appreciated. We're 1 subscriber away. I've just refreshed. We're 1 subscriber away. We're on 47,000 subscribers, 999. So someone, if you want to, click that subscribe button. But into the news. Carabao Cup draw tonight. Yes. I tell you this now. Man City are going to get someone like Newport County, and we're going to get Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, or Spurs. Watch it be Man United, Arsenal, and Man City getting someone like Stockport or Newport County. I don't know who went through. Should we look at the Carabao Cup results? Carabao Cup. Let's see who United could get in the Carabao Cup. We've got, these are the results, no one cares about them. So we could get Charlton, Burnley, Sheffield Wednesday, Everton, at Villa, Crawley Town, MK Dons, Newport County. There you go. That's Man City's draw sorted. Newport County. That is who Manchester City will be drawing in the Carabao Cup, and we will be getting someone like Arsenal. But what I will do is we will do Manchester United. We will search Manchester United in here, and we'll look at our fixtures coming up. But there is the Carabao Cup draw tonight, which I completely forgot about. When is the Europa League draw, guys? Look at the table. Where are Liverpool? Where can anyone? Oh, I see them. 16th. Imagine not winning your first 3 games. Banter club. Let me scroll up. There we go. But let's look at the fixture list, guys. So we've got Southampton coming up Saturday, 12:30. Who do we line up? How would you guys line up versus Southampton? How would you go? I want revenge against MK Dons. I really hope we get an easy draw as well. Newcastle signing Isaac for as much as we're signing Anthony, which makes me feel better. De Gea, Varane, Martinez, Delo, Malacia, Bruno, Eriksson, Sancho, Gakpo. I'm going to show you what we might line up. What are they saying for lineups? Let me go to SofaScore because they'll put a lineup out, won't they? SofaScore will put a United versus Southampton lineup up. No, they haven't. That's annoying. They'll do that on the day. But what I was saying is, Casemiro is set to play versus Southampton. Casemiro had his first day training with Manchester United yesterday and is set to play against Southampton. What footed is Casemiro? Let me just Google this. Is Casemiro? I think he's right-footed. Is Casemiro right-footed, guys? I googled what footed is Casemiro, and it's just coming up with his fucking age. I'm not asking what his age is. Is Casemiro right-footed? Just want to tell me what foot he plays with, but it doesn't really matter. Whatever. So I think we will have Fred and Casemiro. I think he will play Casemiro, but I think even though Eriksson and I think McTominay were good versus Southampton, I think he knows that Fred and Casemiro have played together, and I wouldn't be surprised if he played Fred and Casemiro. Thank you very much for the super chat. Who would you drop, Rashford, Sancho, or Antony? I'd probably play Antony and Sancho just because I think Sancho is a little bit better than Rashford, but it depends on the game because I actually think, and this is a bit of an unpopular opinion, I actually think Antony and Rashford because Antony's a creator on the wing, and Rashford I know Rashford doesn't score goals for a while, but we do know Rashford can score goals, and Antony's more of a creator, and I actually think Antony and Rashford would work better because you've got Antony for the service and Rashford to be the more direct, Rashford to be the more quick winger, and I think the variety of I think Antony and Sancho are quite similar, whereas Antony and Rashford are quite different. Sancho's more direct, whereas Rashford kind of runs at players and uses his pace. If Rashford can find form, I would do Rashford and Antony, but I think Sancho is better than Rashford, and I would do Sancho and Antony. But I think because Antony doesn't have the blistering pace, like Antony and Sancho are quick, but they don't have the blistering pace Rashford has. And I think the blistering pace Rashford had Rashford, Martial, Antony could work really well. But I think I would go with Martial, Sancho, Antony for now, and just hope that Rashford can score more goals and find his form, of course. Thank you very much for the donation, Sherman. Really appreciate it as well. Carabao Cup is a priority for City. Not only them and Liverpool care about it. I don't give a fuck about the Carabao Cup, but we haven't won a trophy in so long. I wouldn't mind if we won the Carabao. Out of all the trophies, the Premier League is the one I want to win the most, followed by the Champions League, followed by the Europa League, followed by the FA Cup, followed by the Carabao Cup. You know what's funny? You know what's really funny? I saw an Arsenal fan tweet today that they need to forget about the Europa League and focus on the Premier League. An Arsenal fan, and it's got like 3,000 likes from Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans seriously think because they're top of the league after 3 games, they're going to win the league. Man United were top of the league after about 20 games in January. We didn't win the league. You're 3 games. You've not even played anyone difficult yet. You're playing well. You're playing brilliant, Arsenal. But you don't have the depth. 1 or 2 injuries, you're fucked. Fucked. I'm telling you this now. We know what Arsenal will do. Man City winning the league, and we all know that's going to happen. And Liverpool will build up momentum and finish above Arsenal. I'm telling you this now. But I thought Arsenal fans had the audacity to go, let's focus on the league. Let's focus on winning the league, not the Europa League. You're not winning the league, Arsenal. I'll come back to this video if Arsenal win the league and all that, but you're not. You're not, okay? I will say that now. Nick Morris said his Southampton team is De Gea, Delobera, Martinez, Malacia, Fred, Casemiro, Sancho, Fernandes, Rashford. I think that's probably the same as mine. Is it over for De Jong? I believe it is over for De Jong, unfortunately. I think United kind of subtly announced it now. I actually would use Bruno. This sounds weird. When Ronaldo doesn't play, Bruno is better. But if Ronaldo does play, I'd play Eriksen. I would play Martial. When Martial came on, he was just so impressive. Martial was just so impressive when he came on that I'd have to play Martial. And this would be how I lined up. Basically the same as Nick. Part of me wants to see Donny given a go. But we just haven't seen him yet. He's not played enough, which is annoying. Part of me would like to see Garner given a go, but we know he's for sale. I mean, guys, Man United are trying to sell Garner for 15 million. I think we could get more for him, but we're mugs. But yeah, this would be my lineup versus Southampton. What I will do is I will do a lineup on Friday nights. We might get a bit of team news in on Friday night about who's definitely starting, because normally the 24 hours before the match, they confirm 3 or 4 starters or 3 or 4 people that won't be involved after Ten Hag's press conference. So you might know on Friday night Martial is starting. So this is the team I would use. But on my live stream on Friday night, I will do the team that I think will play. So this is the team I would play. On Friday night, I'll do the predicted team, because I think when Ten Hag does his press conference on Friday, we're going to get a real indication of who's fit to play, who's injured, who's going to start. You normally give away 2 or 3 starters. So I think by Friday, I'll kind of know what the lineup will be. But this was obviously the lineup I'd like to see. Casemiro and Fred. Casemiro has been in training. I don't know if he's allowed to play. I don't know if he's got documents in or any of that, but hopefully. Thank you very much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate that, mate. Thanks for all the support. Fred and Casemiro will tear teams apart like they do for Brazil, says Nick. The thing is, Fred and Casemiro for Brazil have a really good record together. I think they've won like 10 out of 11 games. Obviously, South American teams very easy to score against and all of that. They play teams like Peru and stuff. They don't play the toughest midfields, but it obviously works. They've got lots of options in midfield for Brazil, and they do pick Fred and Casemiro, not the likes of Fabinho and potentially other players. So yeah, no, I think that Fred and Casemiro could work. I think the backup for me is I'd like to see Donny more involved. I mean, if we actually look at the depth we have now, so we'll put Scott, because I can't be asked to write McTominay. So if you look at the depth, so this is kind of the depth in midfield, which, it's not, look, Casemiro injury and it's back to McFred, but I think we're in a position now where we're probably going to sign Antony. If not, we'll sign Gakpo. But if you actually kind of look at this here, I think we're in a position where we have really good depth. So you've got Sancho, and then you've got Rashford as the backup, but you've also got Ronaldo as backup to Martial, and then you've obviously got, look, people say what you want about Luke Shaw, but Luke Shaw is a backup left back. That he's a good player. We saw it in the 2021 season. You've got Maguire as backup to Martinez, who again isn't an awful player, but shouldn't be starting on current form. You've got Lindelof again, who isn't an awful player. And reportedly, Wan-Bissaka will go and Brandon Williams will be the backup right back, which is a bit of an iffy thing. But, if you actually look at the United team, all of a sudden, since signing Casemiro and Martial coming back from injury, a week ago, it was like the worst thing in the world. And now you're like, actually, if you sign Antony, you've got decent depth in the attack. Midfield, there still needs to be a midfielder there, because you are one injury away from McFred, especially with James Garner going. And we haven't replaced Pogba. We sold Pogba, we haven't replaced him. We've replaced Matic, but we haven't replaced Paul Pogba. Now, maybe Donny can be that Paul Pogba replacement, even though they're nothing alike. But, you know, like, it's not bad in terms of depth. I'm not saying its lineup is anywhere near good enough. I think you need another right back. I think potentially a goalkeeper that's better in possession. I think potentially, obviously, another midfielder. But it's a decent team, to be fair. Like, I think, you know, once they spend some time with Ten Hag and work with Ten Hag, there could be, you know, a good lineup in there as well. Where am Man U in the table above Liverpool, and that's all that matters as well. Why isn't Donny playing? I'm not sure. I think Donny will play in the Europa League. I think because Donny hasn't played in a while, he's just not sharp. I think Donny will start playing. I think by Christmas time we'll see Donny playing quite regularly. I say by Christmas time, the fucking World Cup. But I think we will start once there's 2 games a week going on. Once the Carabao Cup and the Europa League and all that gets started, I think we will see Donny playing a lot more often once there's 2 games a week as well. Take it, no one has watched Casemiro and Fred together. Their quality, they work well together, and Fred gets to go forward. I've watched them play a couple of times, but I've done some research, and they have, you know, worked well together. And I think this is probably our best team. So once we sign Antony, and I'm confident we will sign Antony, I think this is our best team as well. As Daniel said, I think Donny just needs time to gain match fitness. Donny to be loaned to Ajax. I think Donny can do better than the Eredivisie. There's a good player in Donny. And you see it, and I think, to be fair, when you stick in Donny next to the shit Man United midfielders, of course, he's going to be average as well. People say Neves and Dumfries. I still think we need another midfielder, even if we don't get Jong. Kakure of Lyon would be a good player. I would have liked Nunez, that's gone to Wolves. I think he would partner Casemiro quite well. Benacer, AC Milan would potentially be a good option. You know, I think there's some really good young options out there to partner Casemiro, but United don't have a competent scouting department as well. The thing about Man United is I'm like, oh, there's some really good signings. I reckon will be under 30 million to be box to box to go next to Casemiro. But I actually think, you know, it's just like, what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. But look, before the Liverpool game, United went for Antony, Gakpo, and De Jong, and Kevin Trapp on a right back. Once we beat Liverpool, the interest have called in at least 3 of those players. I just read this now. It's interesting how we were linked to all these players before Liverpool, and now the interest is fading. The Gakpo interest is fading without reasons, pointing to Glazers now feeling comfortable enough to drop targets. Basically, because we beat Liverpool and because less pressure's on the Glazers, they're dropping the interest in Gakpo. They're dropping the interest in all of this. There's a report coming out that apparently Manchester United are calling interest in some of their targets. Now we beat Liverpool, which is interesting as well. Very interesting, but we'll have to wait and see where that news, you know, it has been said that either Antony or Gakpo will be complete by the end of the window. And that's what I'm looking at. But there are reports coming in that United are calling interest on a lot of their targets. We've called interest on De Jong, we're calling interest on Gakpo and all of that. But I believe that United will sign either Antony or Gakpo. And I think if United do call interest on any of their targets, it's because we beat Liverpool and there's less pressure on the Glazers. And I tell you this now, the Glazers only buy when they're under pressure. And this is why we've got to keep the Glazers under as much pressure as possible, because they have the money. They will, you know, they've called their interest in Kevin Trapp. United have called their interest in, you know, Gakpo, you know, and all of this. And it's like, you know, before Liverpool, we were going to sign Gakpo, Antony and De Jong. And now it seems like we're only going to sign Antony and maybe a backup goalkeeper. And I just think it's very much because of the Glazers. You know, we beat Liverpool and all of that as well. But I look, and one of Antony or one of Gakpo is set to be completed. To conclude all the transfer news, by the way, guys, United will sign either Antony or Gakpo. You know, all the top journalists are saying United looks set to complete either a deal for Antony or Gakpo in the coming days. The transfer window closes in a week. There's going to be loads of news coming in the next week. So do make sure you subscribe for that. I'm going to wrap up the live stream now. So please do subscribe to Alice Talks Football if you're new. Please do share the video. Please do hit that like button and all of that. I will be back tomorrow morning with a video about Ten Hag. It's a really interesting video about sort of what Ten Hag's been saying to the players to change the player mentality in United. A short video should be out tomorrow morning if I can get it edited in time. And then I will be back tomorrow evening for a live stream where I'm sure we're going to have some big updates on Antony. As it's been said, Antony's representatives are in England to get the deal complete. Manchester United want to get the Antony deal complete. And there is potential for Gakpo as well. So make sure you subscribe if you want to stay up to date on all the latest news. Smash that like button on the way out. Share the video, guys, and I will be back tomorrow. So big up everybody that tuned in. I really appreciate the support on the channel as well. Will Ronaldo start or be on a sub role? Potentially a sub role. And one more comment quickly. to my opinion, Antony and Gakpo will be a good signing. To Antony, since he's a fantastic player with amazing talent. His corners are world class, which our team doesn't have, which is a very good point. I just saw that and I thought I'd read that out before the thing as well. And Southampton away could be a tough fixture, and we will cover that in tomorrow's live stream. So big up everybody. See you next time, and bye.